Title: Time Travel for Tired Minds. A Sleepy Journey Through History. Segment 1. Dear Traveler... Tonight, we leave behind the rush of modern life. Let your thoughts quiet down like a soft tide returning to shore. Close your eyes. Let your body melt into the mattress. Let go. With each breath, we drift closer to another time and another world. You are now seated inside a curious machine, unlike any other. Soft gears turn slowly beneath you. The walls shimmer like warm candlelight. It's quiet here. Nothing sharp, nothing loud, just a tender hum as time begins to stretch and fold like cloth in the wind. Sunrise in Mesopotamia. The air smells of morning dew and ripening barley. Along the banks of the Euphrates, a soft golden glow stretches across the horizon. A shepherd guides his flock, their bells chiming like lullaby. Market in Babylon, the city awakens with gentle sounds. Merchants whisper greetings. Clay pots click softly as they're placed in rows. The scent of fresh figs and honey bread fills the air. A scribe at work. In a shaded alcove, a young scribe leans over a tablet. His stylus moves with patient grace. The slow press of lines into wet clay has a rhythm like slow rain. Brickmakers, by the river, by the water's edge. People shape bricks with practiced hands. The sun warms their backs, and the wet clay squishes softly between fingers. Work songs drift like distant birdsong. Nightfall in the city, oil lamps flicker in the doorways. Children curl beside their parents. The sky deepens into indigo. All around you, the ancient city sighs into sleep. Nile twilight sail. The boat glides silently. You feel the wood creak beneath you, the river lapping against its sides. The Nile stretches endlessly, quiet and forgiving. Garden of the Pharaoh's palace petals fall into shallow pools. The garden smells of myrrh and fresh citrus. A gardener hums an old song as he waters the lilies. Tea with the queen. A serene queen sits with you under a vine-covered canopy. She pours tea into gold-rimmed cups. Her voice is soft, her eyes knowing. You listen, not to words, but to presence. Pyramids rising. In the distance, workers move together like waves. Stones are placed with reverence. It is not the monument that matters, but the calm unity of their effort. Night beneath the stars. You lay on cool stone, looking at stars exactly as the ancients did. The Milky Way stretches across the sky like a dream that never ends. Walking in ancient Athens, stone paths wind through sun-dappled trees. Philosophers converse in low tones. You pass between olive trees, the wind whispering between the leaves. Meeting Socrates. Socrates sits quietly on a smooth rock, hands folded. He gestures for you to sit beside him. No words, only a question in his gaze. You nod. He smiles. Sea breeze at Piraeus. The harbor is calm. Ships bob like sleeping animals. Fishermen mend a net and tell stories, their voices barely rising above the waves. Afternoon, lute music. A young girl plays a lute by the window. The notes drift like feathers. Sunlight rests on the marble floor. Night on the Acropolis high above the city. You rest against ancient stone. The Parthenon glows softly under the moonlight. A lone owl calls in the night. Japan. Cherry blossoms, falling petals fall silently onto the stone pile. A teapot steams beside you. You sip slowly, warmth blooming from your hands to your chest. Zen garden walk. Raked gravel swirls in perfect patterns. Among steps are steady, measured, like the ticking of a cosmic clock. The samurai poet. He kneels before a scroll, brush in hand. His words are few, about wind and silence. You watch ink bleed into paper like fog into trees. Pottery in Kyoto, the wheel turns. Your hands shape clay with care. Each bowl is different, each one perfect in its imperfection. Temple under moonlight. The temple bell chimes once. Lanterns glow along a stone path. You walk slowly, feeling your footsteps echo through time. Roman morning. Children chase each other near a fountain. The scent of olives, baked bread, and warm dust mixed in the air. Latin lessons. Young voices chant conjugations in rhythm. The teacher smiles gently. You repeat softly. The lamp maker. An elderly man polishes a bronze lamp. He tells you it belonged to his father. You light it together, and the flame flickers with memory. Public bath sounds, warm water, envelopes. Laughter and whispers echo off smooth stone. Steam curls around like a warm cloud. Evening by the fountain sings. The sunset reflects off marble walls. Pigeons coo nearby. Content. Viking evening. Children sit at their parents' feet, carving wood. A pot simmers over fire. Snow and smoke. Outside, snow thickens. Inside, smoke from peat fires dances in the air. You sit wrapped in furs, mug in hand. Repairing a longhouse together, villagers lift heavy beams. No shouting, no rush, just strength, rhythm, and care. Silent fjord view. You walk alone along a cliff, looking over frozen water. The silence is absolute, like the world is holding its breath. Starlit rest. You lie on reindeer skins, looking up. The aurora whispers, you close your eyes. Silk road, campfire. Traders gather around the fire. Cinnamon and cardamom scent the air. Tales are told in many languages, none needing translation. Desert tea ceremony, a kettle hisses on embers. You are handed a small clay cup. The tea is strong, earthy, it warms your soul. Caravan at dawn, camels move in slow procession. Sand shifts gently beneath their feet. The morning is cool and hushed. Meeting the scroll merchant, an old man unwraps delicate scrolls. He reads a passage about peace. You nod slowly, storing the words in your heart. Sleeping amongst silks, you nestle into pillows and rugs. Fabric from Persia, India, China. Dreams begin before your eyes close. Medieval garden in France, bees buzz, a nun hums while picking lavender. The sun kisses the stone walls. Illuminated manuscripts, in a quiet scriptorium, quills scratch parchment. Gold leaf catchers, pages turn gently. Harp at dusk, a harpist plays beside the chapel. Each note lingers in the warm evening air. Bread and honey, you share a slice of fresh bread, spread with golden honey. It tastes like memory and comfort. Nap among herbs, you drift to sleep beneath a rosemary bush. The wind hums a lullaby. Early American homestead wood creaks. A rocking chair sways. A child reads by firelight, lips moving silently. Orchard walk, apple blossoms fall gently. A couple walks, hand in hand. The path is soft with moss. Cornmeal and tea. In a modest kitchen, a woman stirs a pot. She hands you a bowl. You eat slowly, gratefully. Lantern light. The lantern flickers. Outside, night covers everything. Inside, peace. Fireflies in the field. You stand barefoot in a field. Fireflies blink in patterns, older than language. Time tugs you gently. The machine waits. You step in. The hum begins again. You feel heavier and lighter all at once. Returning to the present approaches, but slowly, kindly. Your body sinks deeper. Past and future melt into one long breath. Sleep. You are here and not here. Your mind floats. It continues in your dreams. Sleep well. Tomorrow is another story. Introduction. Welcome to Dreamy Dining. Welcome, dear dreamer. Tonight, we won't be eating, but remembering. Together, we'll take a gentle walk through the kitchens of time, visiting recipes long gone and ingredients long forgotten. Let your senses relax. Let curiosity guide you to the table of the past. Breathe slowly, deeper, and imagine yourself on a quiet path that leads through ancient kitchens, flickering hearths, and fragrant feasts. Babylonian beer, the air is thick with barley and honey. In a clay-walled brewery by the river, workers stir large vats slowly. The beer is thick, sweet, unfiltered. It's more like porridge than drink. Nourishing, warm, ancient. The scent of crushed grain lingers, and time slows around you. Sumerian bread, flat, stone-baked loaves emerge from dome-shaped ovens. They smell of sesame and ash. A Sumerian mother dusts flour from her hands, handing you a slice wrapped in linen. You bite and it is dense, warm, earthy. It feels like history itself resting on your tongue. Egyptian date wine. At a market stall in ancient Thebes, a young boy hands you a jug. It's sweet, syrupy, rich with the sun of the Nile Valley. You sip slowly. It coats your mouth like golden syrup. Around you, voices murmur, vendors barter, but you're still floating in flavor. Roman garum sauce, a quiet Roman kitchen. Clay jars line the wall. Inside, fermented fish. Its scent is strong but familiar. A cook adds a few drops to a simmering stew. You taste it, salty, deep, like the memory of the ocean. It clings to your senses, ancient and primal. Lentil stew of the Legionnaire soldiers sit by the fire, sharing a pot of lentils, herbs, and garlic. You dip a spoon in. The texture is soft, the flavor simple, sustaining, and oddly soothing. Smoke drifts upward. A dog snores nearby. The world is quiet and full. Honeyed dates from Pompeii. A woman offers you a platter of roasted dates, stuffed with nuts and drizzled in honey. Outside, life bustles. Inside this kitchen, only sweetness remains. You chew slowly, and it feels like a small celebration frozen in time. Aztec chocolate drink. In a shaded courtyard, cacao beans are ground into paste. Chili and water are mixed in. The drink is bitter, earthy, warm. You sip it slowly. This is not dessert. It is ritual. You close your eyes as warmth spreads through your chest. Maize cakes and smoked fish on flat stones. Maize cakes cooked beside a fire. Nearby, fish hang drying on wooden racks. You eat quietly with elders who nod but say little. The maize is smoky and soft. The fish rich and tender. Nothing is rushed. Inca potato soup. A woman in a woolen shawl stirs a pot filled with wild potatoes, herbs, and river water. Steam rises in the thin mountain air. You sip the soup and feel the Andes in your bones. The altitude, the silence, the warmth all wrapped in a bowl. Medieval pottage. A cauldron swings gently over the hearth. Inside, grains, leeks, and root vegetables simmer slowly. You hold a wooden bowl. It's contents, thick, creamy, and comforting. A cat purrs nearby. A spoonful later, the world fades away. Feast of the monks. In a stone abbey, monks break their silence to give thanks. Their meal is mud as black bread, cheese, and ale but shared with reverence. You eat, too, feeling the weight of quiet gratitude. Bells chime in the distance. Spiced milk from Moorish Spain. A young girl pours warm milk, spiced with cinnamon, saffron, and sugar. The aroma is gentle, the flavor silky. You are wrapped in silk cushions and warmth. The taste is like a bedtime story in a cup. Viking boiled barley. A bubbling pot by a fire. A bearded man stirs in herbs, dried berries, bits of fish. He tastes it, shrugs, then hands you the ladle. It's honest food, rough, real, grounding. The fire crackles, and snow falls gently outside. Mead under the stars. You sit beneath the stars as a horn of mead is passed. It tastes of honey, summer flowers, and smoke. The night is soft. A distant flute plays. You exhale slowly. Forgotten grains of Africa, milletef, sorghum, ancient grains ground, steamed, and served with stews fragrant with tamarind and okra. The hands that cook are strong, the flavors deep and wise. You feel nourished by story as much as food. Chinese Han Dynasty dumplings, delicate folds in dough hold minced meats and herbs. A woman steams them over clay pots. The aroma rises gently, inviting. You bite in. The flavor is timeless. You taste garlic, ginger, warmth, lost herbal tonics. At a wooden table, glass jars line a shelf. Ginseng, lotus, chrysanthemum. A tonic is poured. You sip, feeling it glide gently down. You are calm, whole. Persian rose syrup, rose petals float in sugar water. The air is thick with perfume. You drink slowly, like tasting a poem. Each sip whispers of gardens and poetry. A pause, the sounds of cooking. Listen, a crackling fire, a knife on wood, a bubbling pot. History cooks quietly, waiting for you to notice. You let the sounds wash over you. A baker's morning in 17th century France. Dawn breaks. The baker kneads dough, shaping loaves with care. You help stoke the oven. The first bite is warm, crusty, and full of sunrise. Flour dust sparkles in early light. Forgotten fruit of the Caribbean, breadfruit, soursop, custard, apple. Fruits that smell of rain and sun. You taste one. It's like a dream you had as a child. Juicy, fragrant, fleeting. A Russian forest meal. In a small dacha, mushrooms, beets, and black bread. Make a humble dinner. You sit near a fire, wrapped in a wool blanket, listening to wind through birch. Inuit ice cream, berries and fat whipped into a soft mixture, cold and surprising. Elders laugh quietly as you try it. The taste is wild and bright. Polynesian, fire pit, cooking. Food, wrapped in leaves, slow roasted in an earth oven. Steam escapes with a sweet, earthy scent. You wait patiently, then share with the village. Victorian pickles and pies, laced gloves, open jars of pickled carrots. A pork pie is sliced with care. The parlor is filled with murmurs and spice. You sip tea and time slows. Lost colonial recipes, molasses cake, vinegar pie, rosewater cookies. Recipes from torn journals and fading memories. You bite into a piece of the past. A whisper of wild honey sticky fingers, golden drips. Bees hum nearby. Someone once risked a sting for this sweetness. The reward was worth it. An imaginary banquet. Imagine a table stretching across centuries. Bowls of forgotten grains, trays of ancient fruits, steaming pots of lost stews. Every culture, every time, sharing one meal. You have a seat at the center. Final thoughts. What would you eat? As our journey ends, ask yourself, what flavor from the past would you choose to taste again? Maybe it's not the food. Maybe it's the memory that feeds us best. Sleep now, full of dreams in ancient kitchen. Dreamy dining, a gentle journey through the forgotten flavors of time. Close your eyes. Listen to the crackling of firewood in an ancient clay oven. Let your steps wander slowly through the markets of Babylon. Glide past the stone kitchens of Egypt. Pause at the dinner table of a Roman family, and drift into the winter halls of a medieval European castle. Dreamy dining is a soft invitation to travel through the culinary worlds of the past, where every dish is a silent page of history. Every aroma a scent once carried away by the winds of time. Tonight, we gently recall them, not with haste, not with noise, but with quiet stories, to ease you into peaceful sleep. Babylonian beer, a sip of malt from the Mesopotamian plains. In the fertile land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the ancient Babylonians brewed one of humanity's earliest drinks, a light beer made from crumbled bread, wild yeast, and clear well water. As night fell, they would gather around large clay pots, speaking in hushed tones, sipping the thick brew, rich in malt and earthy in scent. Laughter would echo through wheat fields, then slowly fade into the desert's warm air. Imagine now a cool clay cup in your hands, brought to your lips, letting that ancient flavor drift down your throat like a dream, just strong enough to make you drowsy. Roman garum, the salty echoes of an empire. In ancient Rome, no luxurious meal was complete without garuma. Fermented fish sauce crafted from sea catch, salt, and sun. A few drops of garum would be drizzled on toasted bread, roasted meats, even fruit desserts, as if this amber-colored liquid was the final note in a perfect culinary symphony. A taste once bold and pungent, now softened, memory told in whispers, like an echo from a distant Roman feast. Egyptian bread baking. Loaves, blessed by the gods. The ancient Egyptians didn't just bake bread, they worshipped it. Wheat dough was kneaded by bare hands, left to rise in the sun by the Nile, then baked in beehive-shaped mud ovens. Every loaf was a prayer. They believed the fire that baked the bread belonged to the sun god, and the warmth from freshly baked crusts was a sign the gods were smiling. In this scene, imagine reclining, breathing in the smell of toasty bread crust. Mingled with dust and golden sunlight, you could sleep peacefully, like a child in the arms of Mother Nile. Medieval honey cakes, sweetness. In the long cold nights and the long shadows of the Middle Ages, people turned to honey as they might to light. Honey cakes made from barley herbs and golden nectar were one of the few sweet comforts during the freezing winters. You might hear the crackling hearth, see the trembling hands of a mother placing warm cakes on dry wooden boards, and hear the tiny footsteps of children rushing in, joyful for a rare taste of sweetness. Each cake was like a soft, golden dream, and the night felt just a little warmer. Colonial-era coffee traditions. The gentle breath of morning when coffee beans first voyaged from Ethiopia to Europe. They brought with them an entirely new culture of wakefulness. The deep, dark drink quickly found a home in the quaint coffee houses of England and the Netherlands, where people would sip slowly, read quietly, write letters, or simply daydream about the future. Coffee wasn't noisy then. It was brewed through cloth filters, heated over brass stoves, and poured by hand on. Picture it. You're sitting by a wooden window, holding a small porcelain cup. Outside, the clatter of horse-drawn carriages drifts in faintly, and within you, peace settles gently until you drift away. Closing food is not merely nourishment. It holds memories, culture, and longing. In each grain of wheat, each drop of honey, each spoon of fish sauce or cup of old world coffee lies a lost era, waiting to be remembered in whispers. And now, as night falls, you may rest your eyes. for histories gently rocking you to sleep with flavor. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this sleepy journey, please give the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, sweet dreams.
Introduction. As the city lights fade into the darkness, as the sound of car horns becomes a distant echo, a quiet stillness begins to settle in, and you hear something. A whisper gentle as a leaf brushing the surface of water, echoing from a time long, long ago. Welcome to Nap in Nature, a place where time slows down, where you are lulled to sleep by stories of ancient people, living in gentle rhythm with the natural world. Close your eyes and imagine you're walking barefoot on soft earth, beside a murmuring stream with a forest ahead, breathing gently in the night. Let us begin this journey from the mountains, the highlands, where clouds embrace the fields high on the majestic slopes of the Andes. The Inca carved terraces into the mountains, steps to the sky, woven by love and patience. They didn't use machines to till the land. They used hands, shoulders, and hearts. The earth cradled the corn, and the corn repaid them with nourishment. Among the mountains, they didn't try to conquer nature. They lived with it. Do you hear the echoing footsteps on a winding stone path? Those are Inca farmers walking through the morning mist, carrying not just baskets of seeds, but the quiet peace of an ancient time. The rice plains, the earth's gentle breath. In the old northern plains of Vietnam, as dew still clung to the rice leaves. Farmers bent low, planting each seedling with care, writing a harvest poem into the soil. The fields were not just places for crops. They were roofless temples where people whispered to the earth. And the earth responded, quietly, with golden seasons. In Mesopotamia, the Tigris River carried nourishing silt. Sumerian farmers slowly led their oxen across the fields, and the soil seemed grateful. Winds brushed through rice stalks like gentle hands. Can you feel the drowsiness settling in? Water, the silent life giver. In the ancient world, water wasn't just for drinking. It was the soul of life. The Nile stream of dreams flowing through Egypt's past. When the floods came, the river spilled over its banks. The fields drank deeply, then slowly receded, leaving behind new life. Egyptians didn't rush. They listened to water, waited for it, and lived by its soft rhythm. In ancient Japan, bamboo aqueducts carried water gently through Zen gardens. The sound wasn't loud, more like a lullaby. Let it pass through your ears, and let your body flow with it. The breathing gardens in the arid deserts of Babylon, a garden rose floating like a dream. Green leaves spilled over stone balconies, and flowers bloomed silently in the hot wind. Someone tended that garden every day, with the tenderness of caring for a soul. In Sichuan, delicate tea leaves were picked before sunrise. The gatherers didn't speak, didn't laugh loudly. Only birdsong and breeze were allowed. The tea wasn't just for drinking. It was meant to quiet the spirit. Would you like to step into a Zen garden in Kyoto? There are no voices there, only stones, sand, and soft, raked circles of stillness. Each footstep moves you closer to peace. The open homes, old homes, needed no locks. They were built to breathe, to welcome wind, to open their hearts. Adobe huts in Peru were cool in summer, warm in winter, built from the earth itself. Stilt houses beside ancient Vietnamese rivers were places to sleep among frogs, crickets, and the scent of ripening rice. Inside a Mongolian yurt, a fire glowed softly. Blankets held warmth, and stories were told in whispers. Living with animals. Ancient people didn't raise animals to control them. They lived with them like companions. Oxen walked ahead, tilling the land. Behind them, humans dropped seeds into the softened earth. Ducks paddled through rice fields like tiny oars in green water. Goats chewed quietly on dry Mediterranean hills, while shepherds played flutes. A sound dissolving into the evening wind. Resting in nature, and when the sun leaned westward, ancient people rested not in glass rooms, but under open skies. You lie on a soft straw mat. A fig tree casts cooling shade. Cicadas hum softly. the breeze sings a midday lullaby. A bamboo hammock swings slowly. You close your eyes. Let nature hold you, rock you with rustling leaves and whispering winds. The final lullaby, dear one. We have wandered through mountains, plains, rivers, gardens, and old homes. The ancients did not battle nature. They lived within it. They didn't conquer, they belonged. Just like you now. Laying down, loosening your grip, and letting yourself melt into the night. Now, close your eyes. You are lying in a small shelter by a stream. Water flows softly. Wind tells old stories. And the night sky watches quietly over your dreams. Sleep well. You are exactly where you need to be. Cradled in the gentle arms of nature. Intro, dear friend. Night has fallen. Outside the window, the full moon floats gently in the sky, and the wind whispers stories from long, long ago. Tonight, I invite you to walk with me through gentle legends. Light as mist, soft as a dream beneath the moonlight. Lie down, breathe slowly, and let the whispers of these old tales lull you into peaceful sleep. Japanese legend, Princess Kaguya. Long ago, there lived an old bamboo cutter. One day, he saw a glow coming from inside a hollow stalk. And inside was a tiny girl as beautiful as the first sliver of moon. They named her Kaguya. She grew up among the mountains and forests, surrounded by the quiet love of an old couple. But one full moon night, she had to return to the moon, the place where she truly belonged. She left without a promise. Only a silk robe and a quiet sorrow in the hearts of those left behind. Since then, whenever you look up at the moon, perhaps she is looking back at you. Northern Europe, the giant and the Bifrost Bridge far, far to the north, where the snow stretches to the ends of the earth. There lived a giant, silent in the mist. He guarded the Bifrost, the rainbow bridge between the mortal world and the gods. By day, he slept. But when the moon rose, he would awaken to sweep away the frost so that souls could cross in silence. No one ever heard him speak. Only the wind knew his name. Only wandering dreams met his kind eyes. In the darkness, Vietnam, King An, Daejong, and the Golden Turtle. In an ancient land of the south, a king tried to build an invincible citadel, but each night the walls would fall as if they had never stood. Until one day, Golden Turtle emerged from a deep lake. It gave the king a magical crossbow and the secrets of wind and earth. The Koloa citadel stood firm in the plain. Until one day, the crossbow was betrayed and the king rode away, never to return. But if you listen closely on a moonlit night, you might hear the oars gliding gently over the water, echoing from afar. Celtic, the forest fairy in the misty forests of Ireland. Where ancient trees tower like spires, live tiny fairies, hidden in the light. No one sees them. Unless you lie beneath an old tree, close your eyes. Listen. Maybe you'll hear barefoot steps on the grass. Maybe a melody in a language unknown. Not to understand, just to feel. And Dr. Inca, goddess Inti. The Inca people were not afraid of heights because they lived close to the sun. Goddess Inti. They loved her like a mother. Each morning she wove gold into the mountains, shining over cornfields, embracing the valley with gentle light. At night, she hides behind the peaks, but they believe she's only dreaming. And tomorrow's light, 'tis just another beautiful dream. Egypt Ra and his nightly journey, Ra, the sun god. Each night sails his boat down the underworld river, where darkness lives and souls pass through. He does not fear the night, for he knows the light always waits at the journey's end. And you, dear listener, as you drift into sleep, you too are boarding a boat, sailing through silence where dreams and reality meet. Greece, Selene, and Endymion. Selene, goddess of the moon, fell in love with a mortal who slept beneath a tree each night. She loved him so much, She asked the gods to let him sleep forever so she could kiss his forehead every night in silence. His sleep was eternal, but filled with peace, just like you, right now. Maya, the Quetzal bird, the Quetzal sacred bird of the Maya, its feathers long as twilight skies. They say when a single feather falls, it carries a wish. Perhaps tonight, as you begin to drift off, that feather is floating through your room, soft as smoke, carrying a tender dream. Polynesia, Namaka, and PL, two sisters. One is the ocean, one is fire. When waves crash upon the shore, it's because they're arguing or remembering each other. Namaka is gentle, Peel, fierce. But in dreams, they dance together beneath the moon as if they'd never been apart. Persia, Simurgh, mythical bird with flaming feathers, lives at the highest peak of the sacred mountains. When you sleep, it circles you, holding your dreams together, carrying them where they need to go, not to remember, but to feel. Closing. Dear one, you've traveled with me through cultures, beneath moons, and inside the softest of legends. Now, let yourself soften too. Like dew resting on grass, you are lying in a forest of fairy tales. The moon is guarding your sleep, and every myth is here to cradle your dreams. Sleep well, and dream gently.